Hello everyone, welcome back to, unfortunately, another haul vid. I say unfortunately, I'd like to do some reviews, but I haven't had a chance lately. I think this is about a month again since my last haul vid. Basically that's mainly because I was a couple of weeks doing some decorating, which meant I couldn't get on here enough to do a video to show you what I've been picking up. And basically with the new terms and everything starting at work, it's been a bit pandemonium at work, so I haven't had a chance to do it in the weeks where I've been working as well. Anyway, jumping straight in and trying not to waffle on too much this time. Got quite a good haul, and unusually I've managed to get more Transformers than other stuff. Now I'll do the other stuff first because it's the way I usually do it, get it out of the way. First thing is an annual, not something I was so much into as a kid, but I picked this up mainly because it was about, I think it was 20p, and the condition of it is like brand new, and it's a Toxic Crusaders annual. I'm not sure what year it's from, but it is, if I can turn that round so you can see it, it is like brand new inside. Nothing's been touched. There's not a pencil mark, a pen mark anywhere in it. It even hasn't had the price cut out of it. But I thought, well, for the condition it's in, that's worth 20p just for a bit of retro. I found the date on it, 1992. So quite a good little find. I haven't actually read it yet. I'll probably get through it at some point. Now, what do I go with next? Well, one little thing I picked up, I think it's to do with Micro Machines, I'm not sure if it's a proper one or not, but I did pick up this little thing because little off-road truck, but I've never seen one with working lights with a little battery in before on this scale, so I thought that's quite a nifty little thing. So it was in amongst some other bits that I picked up, so I thought that's quite good. I managed to get I wouldn't so much say a knockoff Transformer, because I don't think they were ever made as a line of knockoffs as so much as just a cheaper line of Transformers at the time. Another one of the not Transformers back from the day. Excite Toys. It's got a little bit on the side there. It's super oiled tank lorry. It's not in bad nick. I won't bother transforming it, but it's not a bad little thing, sort of along the lines of like a GoBot, but quite tidy. Still got a lot of his stickers on, so I thought it was worth picking up. And again, I think it was something like 10-20p. Getting to another thing which would, I suppose you'd class it, it is a KO of a G1 toy, possibly KO'd back in the era of G1 as well. And it's yet another slightly different version coloration wise of G1 Quake. And I've got the other one that I picked up the other day, which is a more of a silvery grey, so you can see that this one is actually dark grey with green camouflage, and then light grey with green camouflage pattern on it. In pretty tidy condition. I mean, I could swap that gun over onto that and it would look fine on there as well, but I'll hang on to it. I still haven't got round. Now I'm in an R in this one. Might be the better one to do a bit of a repaint of Overlord, but I kind of like the fact that I've got a few different versions. I don't know whether to repaint them or not. I get a bit sentimental that, well, even that's an original sort of knockoff. And to show you the difference between knockoffs today and in the past, knockoffs in the past even came with ratchet joints and don't fall apart, and so there's certainly been a bit of a downward spiral of KOs. Now get into different lines, but some good little pickups. Now I think most of you remember I picked up a Mr. T. Well, I actually managed to find two of his mates, so I've now got Hannibal and Face. who look not really anything like their actual counterparts. If I can get that to zoom in, I'll have to put my hand up there, bring that in shot. Don't know if it's going to do it. He's got more of a looking like the Joker with the amount of sort of lipstick around his lips, but not quite. Dirk Benedict, I think his name, wasn't it, for face. And Hannibal, I mean, they're very cheerful. They're the cheerful 18. You going to focus? There you go. Looking a bit more like Cary Grant. But there you go. Anyway, so I managed to get them. So I've actually got the 3 3/4 size 18 now. So I'm quite pleased with that. All I really need now is to find a decent van for them. But you never know what will pop up at a boot fair. Now, again, I found some obligatory Action Force. So I found one of the original line of Action Force over here. I think it was about 82, 83, something like that. So he's more like the Desert Trooper. Always good to find the originals. And also found a Q-Force diver. Not quite the right weapon, but it kind of works with him being a diver. It's a bit like a harpoon. But again, he's in pretty tidy condition. I've just got to touch up a little bit of the red on his hands and the blue on his feet. But his actual Q-Force insignia on his shoulders are all intact, which is one of the harder bits to sort out. So, pleased with that. And then I found some vintage Star Wars figures. Now, the first one is a Rebel Trooper, which again, from Endor. Very nice condition, really unmarked. So, very pleased with that. No weapons, but you know, it's not the end of the world. That is quite good, a bit of an army builder. Now, I can show you the other two, but at the moment they're having a bit of a bath. I'm peroxiding a couple of figures, and well, actually another figure which I already had as well. But I actually managed to find, if you can make them out in here, and I can actually tilt that enough so it doesn't leak everywhere. But there is inside there 2 original Stormtroopers from the 77 line. Quite yellowed. One of them has gone back completely white already. I would dig it out, but I don't want to drip the peroxide everywhere. The other one's still a bit smoker's yellow on his chest and head, but it's coming. So when I actually get them sorted out and give them a little bit of a tidy up and a clean, I will probably put a picture on the Facebook page to show you what I've got them. But really pleased, and Stormtroopers are a pig to find, so I've snapped them up. The only downside to that was where I picked them up and I paid, I heard the woman who was selling them, who was probably a similar age to myself, so they could have even been hers. Not being sort of sexist, women do collect this stuff as well, and even back in the day girls did have figures. But whether it's hers or her husband, she was selling them. But she said to who I assume was her dad, who was an older guy who was selling with her, oh, these are doing really well. That's, I think she said, I'm trying to think from what I got, there was about another, trying to work the money out, she would have sold about another 7 figures before I got there. Now there were some other original like Cantina figures, generic sort of like figures where you only really need one of, but they were again in good condition, but I left them because I thought somebody else sort of might want them for their collection if they don't have that figure, so I'm trying to be a bit reasonable to other people what come along, rather than snap everything up and try and make money out of it. But it did make me think, if there was 7 figures, what went beforehand, what were they? And I've just got a horrible feeling if they were last 17 figures, I'd just literally could have been half hour, missed out on a group of them. That would have been very annoying. That's worst case scenario. You know, at the best, they were just bog standard ones like Han Solo and Princess Leia and stuff like that, which I've got anyway. So I should try and think on the best, but I've got a horrible feeling they were the good ones. The fact that they left all the others, and even like the Stormtroopers, I don't know. Anyway, I'll try and gloss past that because I have had a good haul in other ways. Now, at a boot fair the other week, I actually managed to find, and this goes to show how quick people either get fed up or they get given gifts and they don't want them, but I actually managed to find something that's currently in the shops. I got a strafe from the last movie. I'm trying to look and I've got a great big sign saying up there what it is. It's Age of Extinction. One of the little Legion class figures. Doesn't seem to have its weapon in there, and the bottom is slightly open, so I'm guessing that's fallen out at some point. But it doesn't really detract. I might just leave him in there for the fact that I probably will find another one of these, just to keep another one packaged. I might do that just for display. But picked him up. He was 20p, so again, either way it doesn't matter. I shall leave. I have got some bits, but I shall leave them till last because they are some quite good bits. But from Boot Fair. Now this is something. Now this is the sort of thing where you get something, and now it's going to lead on to I'm going to have to search out and try and find a figure for them. I actually managed to find a set of the data discs for Cybertron. What's it? Fall of Cybertron Soundwave or Sound Blaster. They'd work with either of them. There is Ravage, Rumble Frenzy and Ratbat in those, and the instructions for at least a couple of them. I think it's the Ravage and whichever one came with him, Rumble or Frenzy. I'm not getting into that debate, but yep, really pleased. Now that was actually thrown in with something else I brought. Now it was a guy selling off quite a few Transformers. There were a few others I didn't have, but he was asking a little bit higher prices, but I sort of went with it, and I sort of was umming and ahhing about a bigger one, and he said, well, you know, that's what I want, it's near the start of the boot fair. So I paid it, but I said, oh, how much was you asking for these? And he said, well, being that there isn't a figure they go with, you can have them in with it if that helps. And I thought, well, fair enough, because even the data discs cost a few quid, so I got them effectively for nothing. Now what I was buying off him to start with was animated Black Arachnia, which is quite nice. She's got a little bit of problems with some loose joints on one of her arms, and I think on one of the sort of, not spider legs so much, but maybe her main legs. I know there are a couple of loose joints on her, which I've got to sort out. Only a matter of putting a little bit of nail varnish or super glue on the ball joint. But quite pleased with that. It's certainly a figure I don't mind picking up. It's more unusual. I can't say I've ever come across one even damaged, so a good one to find. Two other figures. One's complete, one's not. They both have got their instruction sheets, and so does Black Arachnia. I got Fall of Cybertron Sideswipe, I remember the names. Again, all complete. It's got his weapon, which is a bit over the top cumbersome for him to actually really hold properly. It looks a bit weird in the vehicle mode as well. But a nice figure, and I have got the... I'm trying to think now. I've got the Jazz, I've got the Optimus. So it's fitting in with a line. I have seen Bumblebees before, but they're always damaged, unfortunately. Which is an unusual thing for me to say that I'd like to pick up a Bumblebee, because usually, not that bothered these days. But also with him, but minus the weapons. And that's one thing, if anyone's got any spares knocking about, if they've come across the parts for this guy. Got Fall of Cybertron, nearly said the wrong name then, I nearly said Skywarp. Starscream, I must be going nuts. Yeah, Starscream, he hasn't got his cannons. Now I did have a search and the guy said, oh sorry mate, either they've gone with the wrong figure or he's forgot to pick them up or whatever. They got lost in the process anyway. But Starscream's there, he's all complete in himself, but if anyone's got the guns for this guy knocking about going spare, I'd be interested. And the final thing which I picked up, now it did have, and sort of like I was really umming and ahhing between the two, but I thought the other bot, which was a large Predaking, I'll probably come across a Predaking again, because obviously that's more recent. But I did find, and it's one I've been sort of after because I've got the other leaders from the sort of lines and that. But excuse me, but I managed to pick up Leader Megatron from the first movie, and he does still work. His electrics are a little bit hit and miss. There we go. So it does work. Only one downside, which I didn't notice because he was, I'm trying to show you, in his box still, but he'd been reboxed. He's a little bit dirty. I've still got to sort that out. Still got to give him a clean. But the only bit what's actually missing from him is on the nose cone piece, which is on his back in robot mode. There should be a shield part, which when he transformed covers the face of the robot. It's a little bit annoying because I did obviously pay a little bit more for him because he was actually complete in his box, but they did throw in the data discs, and also if I'm going to display this guy it'll be in robot mode, so it's not something crucial. But if anyone's got a junker of this, or they've even got a junker with a bit of that piece on it, if they want to take that piece off or they want to get rid of the junker, if I can get that bit, I can shove that pin out of there and take it out, or literally at some other point take out and change the whole nose cone section. But I would kind of like to make him complete because it would mean I could sort of tidy him up and maybe do a review of this guy. Because he's not bad, he's not great, but he's not bad. And like I say, he was one I've definitely been after. I've got the original leader Optimus, so to have the Megatron what goes opposite it was quite good. And then I've got the ones consequently, the tank Megatron and then the later Optimus as well. But anyway, I was very pleased to pick that up, and of course the fact I've got the box is always nice as well. But that's not the last of the Transformers. Oh no, because with purchases I've been doing via eBay and bits like that, I've also managed to pick up a few other bits. No, actually, I have actually got another boot fair bot. Actually, I did manage to get one of the G2 Predator jets, and he's actually got most of his stickers in good condition. So I picked him up mainly for, I think he's in better nick than the one I've already got. I think it's Falcon, is it? Offhand. Turns into the stealth fighter bomber. Pretty good light piping, as you can see, even just with the light in here, his eyes are showing up quite nicely. Cost me a couple of quid, but he's worth it. His little screen which does the target thing, which works with the other bots like Stalker and that, is all intact, and that, which again is really good to find. So I didn't mind paying a couple of quid for him. They did have a loose junker with no accessories of Skull Cruncher and, trying to think, Chrome Dome. They weren't in bad nick, but minus all their bits and not worth picking up. You can get junkers of them quite easy off the internet. But no, that weren't a bad find. Now, getting to bits I've managed to pick up off the net. Start with the littlest one. He's a little bit sun faded, not something I can peroxide unfortunately, but I still thought he was in reasonable condition. I managed to get Snarlers in a robot, so quite pleased with that. The weird thing is I thought I had Snarler, and where I've been searching through bots through different times when I've been either digging something out to review or just having a bit of a sort out as I go, I thought I had a near complete Snarler anyway, but for the life of me I can't find him unless he's hiding under something bigger. But I thought I'd pick him up. He was literally only something like a quid, so it was worth picking up on the off chance I still do need him. On my lists and like bits where I write down so I know what I've got and that, I hadn't got Snarler ticked off, but I don't know, something in the back of my mind reckons I've got him. But anyway, I'll find that out eventually when I get my stuff sorted out. Let's hope I haven't got about 4 of them. Anyway, now the last bits, it's kind of difficult to say which is the better and which is the least important, because they're all really good. From somebody in the TFYTC, if I've said that correctly. Can't remember his name. I think it was Martin. He was selling a couple of bits, and I picked up something. I've seen it loads of times. I've put bids on the internet and looked for it. I haven't really found it, and I actually managed to get the iGear Scout cassette, which obviously goes for Soundwave, hence the box. All complete, all unused, really nice condition. Got that off him. Literally just posted the thing on the Facebook page, and I more or less must have been the first guy to it, because I was straight onto that. So he gave me it for, well, but sold me it for a fair price, and I'm very pleased with it. Yeah, very good. And that's sort of like, although it's not an original cassette, it's kind of one of the ones which finishes off the line for Soundwave, because it did appear in the, at least in the cartoon. Although I don't remember it, although I've looked up the episode since. But yeah, anyway, very pleased with that. Decent guy who did a trade there. Yeah, now getting on to the next bits. Again, it's really difficult to say which is the lower of the bits and which is the higher of the bits. Now, I managed to get, now it's a difficult one to sort of say, although it's sign written as one, Hero Optimus, but it's not Hero Optimus, because it's the European version. It's actually Sure Shot. So same figure, but different name, and he hasn't got Optimus Prime, Hero Optimus sort of stickers on him. Now I think maybe the Hero Optimus side of it may be at the US release. Don't quote me on that, but lovely figure, will go very nice in sort of like conjunction with my Megatron. I've got the G2 European Megatron, which again technically isn't Megatron, I don't think. I think Few did a review just recently with the Tank Megatron versions, and he's got the same one, which is, although it is Megatron, it's not. If you get what I mean. The same way this is Optimus. And I think possibly one of the early versions of Optimus with a long-nosed cab. Possibly the Action Master was the first one. But the G2s, they did go long-nose. So for all those people that screamed about it for the movie, yeah, I'd have liked to have seen the flat nose, but he has had a long-nosed one before. Anyway, complete Sure Shot with his instructions that I've shown you. Very pleased to pick that up. It's in lovely condition. I will do a review on this guy because I quite like that. That's quite a good figure for the era as well, being sort of G2. It's rather nice. Now leading on from that, now this is late G1. I actually managed to get the last member of the, I'm trying to think what they class themselves as. It's not activators. For the life of me, it's gone out at the end. But I managed to get Flame, I believe his name is. Now, he's one I've been after for a while. Now, I managed to pick up the other two a while back. I managed to get Gripper, who's one of the others. It's Brainmaster bots. I managed to get Gripper at the Sci-Fi by the Sea event, which I was chuffed about. Minus accessories, which I've already got, so that was great. Managed to pick up Flame, I believe his name is. He's near enough complete. He's in pretty tidy condition. I've had a little bit of a tidy up of him, but he's still got a couple of little stickers where I've got the odd little bit of peeling, which I'll try and sort out. Only thing missing is one tyre. Now, it's something I might well find. I might even turn up one of these as a junker with bits missing at a boot fair, so I'm not overly worried about that. It'd be nice to find it, but like I say, if I come across a junker, I'll sort him out a tyre. Unless, of course, anyone out there's got a junker with any tyres on. I only need the one. Anyway, really pleased to pick him up. All the mechanism works. Like I say, his Brainmaster is in there as well, and it does near enough mean that I've got the complete set that I could do a review on them. They're not the combining versions, these are the European versions, so still good to get a nice bit of late G1. Now, it's still not the best bits. Now, it is difficult because I've got a real fondness for a couple of them, and the other two are more complete. I'll go with the other two. I managed to get, and it's had to travel a long way, but I had to sort of pay some postage on this one. Well, actually on these two, they were from the same guy. I've managed to get G1 Sky High. Now, some of his paint apps, like on the grey on the legs and on his thighs and that, needs a bit of work, and he could do with a re-sticker. But I managed to get Sky High. Now, he was missing his belt, but I've consequently picked that up as well. So I've got Sky High Pretender complete. That is a big tick off the list because these were never released in the UK. So it was only ever going to be a case if somebody had already imported one, or in my case I've done it. So chuffed to get him. But if that wasn't enough, from the same person, and he is -2 bits, which I will try and pick up at some point, but they are quite pricey. I managed to get G1 Groundbreaker as well. Now he's missing his shoulder armour, which fits in those two holes there on each side. It's like two almost like little tick or eyebrow sort of bits. Not even really sure why they even bothered doing them as loose parts. They could have just moulded that in. They serve no other purpose. But again, he's got a few issues with paint apps. If you look at his toes, you can see the orange coming through. So I could kind of need again some grey paint, just touch up and make that good. Other than the usual little bit of foxing you get on the softer plastic, he's in pretty tidy condition, and he did come with all of his weapons, which is the two on here, especially the small ones is a bit of a nightmare, and that one. But like I say, shoulder armour, yeah, I'll pick it up at some point, but it's not crucial, so I'm not overly fussed. But another big tick off my G1 list. Now, two major ticks off my G1 list. One's not complete, and that one I need help with. I have put a post up on the TFYTC Facebook page for the sale page, seeing if anyone had a bot knocking about, they got a spare, even if it's a bit discoloured. I might be able to do some peroxide on that because of the colour it is. But I've managed to pick up a shell, and then the other accessory parts will go with the shell, so I only need now the inner robot to finish off Bugley. Like I say, I've managed to pick up his guns and his antenna, shell, and the shell came with a belt, which is another bonus. He's got very slight paint wear, but he's quite tidy. Like I say, really only need the inner robot now, and it's just the bare inner robot. I have seen some online, but they always tend to be either missing one or both of the little feet which turn at the bottom for the transformation. A bit annoying. I do want to get that complete. So if anyone's got an inner robot knocking about, you know, PM me and we'll sort something out. But yeah, really pleased. Bugley is one of the real ones where I've been trying to sort of get, and will really be chuffed to tick him off the list. I do love the original Decepticon Pretenders. Now getting to the last bot, now I've got a few pieces as well to show, but getting to the last bot, it's a figure I've actually picked up in the Generation line not so long ago. Now I did see this guy, and he was going as a bite now for quite a cheap price, minus his accessories, which I have already managed to pick up one, which you'll see is on him. But I thought he might be a little bit rough, because obviously I picked it up as a sort of, oh, sorry, something's just popped up on my screen, it's completely thrown me. Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah, he's a bot that is, I thought was sort of going to be a bit tatty for the price. I did sort of and ah whether or not to get it, and then I thought, well, go on. What from the pictures, he looked reasonable, but he was only literally in his alt mode. I managed to get G1 well, and I have to say, other than some stickers which are already on the way, He has got his gun, which I managed to already get for him. So I'm missing the 3 other weapons will go with him. But I do have to say he is in like new condition. The guy really undersold it with a bad picture. The rub sign is like it's brand new. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there are no KOs of this guy knocking around, and I literally would have thought that this had just come out of its box. It is that mint. One downside is which proves he's not, is the ball joints on the shoulder are a bit loose, and I will again sort that out. Easy enough with ball joints, but everything else on him is perfect. I can't really fault it. And as much as I like the Generations figure, which is sitting just there, I won't pick it. I might be able to get it out without knocking anything else over, because I've got a few other bots hanging around him. I don't want to knock over the one in front of him because it's a gold plastic bot. Will he come out? Yeah, I got him. Now, as much as I really do like this Generations toy, I'm afraid the original, just for the retro side of things, has still got it for me. Both great figures, don't get me wrong. I was pleased to get both of them. But I do like the G1. That's the old retro toy collector in me more so than anything else. But he is lovely, and I'm absolutely chuffed to bits to finally get this guy. I would certainly like to get Roadbuster for the same money, let's put it that way. I'd quite happily get the bits for him afterwards. Anyway, that's the main bots, but I did manage to pick up a few accessories as well. I've managed to finally get an axe for Retgar, so I can finally finish him off. I might actually be able to do a review of him. I managed to get, for a very reasonable price, I managed to get Stranglehold's little gun, so I finally got him, so I might do a re-review of him so I can actually show that all complete. I managed to get 2 of the guns for, I'm trying to think, it's one of the Omnibots, Overdrive I think it is, his little handgun and one of his shoulder missiles. Very good chrome, like brand new, so absolutely chuffed with those. I've finally managed to pick up the extra missile I needed for Swoop, so again my G1 Swoop is now properly complete. And the best thing, and I do know Anton at AA was actually searching around for me to try and help find some bits, and was really good in the fact he kept messaging me on Facebook, keeping me up to date, so I really do appreciate that. And Ed was as well, where I was looking for odd parts. He sort of like kept his eye out for nose cone part for Thunderwing, but no joy there. And to be fair, I'm quite surprised in a little way with AA. I thought that would be the place to go for parts, but maybe not so good. But I managed to get, and again it was actually from one of the sellers what I actually got the Pretenders from, I managed to get Repugnus's gun. Now this thing is like gold dust. They are a real pig to find loose. I think I've seen a couple on the internet before, and they usually are asking ridiculous amounts. So this was actually on a bidding sort of like page, and I actually won that. And to be honest, I probably went for a little bit more than I would for a normal weapon, but this thing is a little bit on the rarer side, so love actually finding that. I've got Repugnus tucked away somewhere over there. I will do a review, but I've actually got him some new stickers on the way as well, so I'm going to give him a good old tar up and get him finished off properly. But that is it, I believe. I always say that and then I think of something else I've picked up and forgotten, but I actually do think I've actually got it right this time, and I haven't got any other extra bits I haven't shown you. I'm double checking though, because I know what I'm like. No, I actually do think that's it. Anyway, I know I've got a couple of other little bits on the way, so there'll be something for next time anyway. Thanks for watching. I hope this hasn't gone on too long. It doesn't even show me what time it is when I'm filming it, so apologies in advance if this is another hour one, but I'm hoping it's not. Thanks for watching. Hope everyone had a really nice time at AA. I wish I could be there at those events, but it is quite a stretch to get up there, and the added costs and everything are staying over, but I'll get there one day. I know it won't be AA anymore, it'll be TF Nation, but yeah, same thing. I'm sure for all those people who are worried, it'll be more or less the same kind of event, possibly even better. You never know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little look at what I picked up. I shall try and get some reviews out at some point, maybe this week. I can't promise anything, but fingers crossed. And I'll see you again. So thanks for watching, and see you later.